going to press record. Thank you. Great stuff. Well, welcome. So we've got our chair today. I'm just going to time us. I know we're a little bit over. So we are going to use any sort of standard chair. So this is kind of, it's not perfect because ultimately, you know, they're all going to be different. So you're going to grab whatever you've got. This actually has a rounded back. It would be better with a flatter back. But when we come to hold it, you'll see what I mean. As long as you can get a good hold of it for stability. And if you've got a mat, place it on your mat. That's, again, just so that it doesn't slide. We're going to come to sit on the chair and just shift the weight a little bit forwards. So bringing the hips and pelvis towards the front edge of the chair. And then just rest the hands there. Good job. Nice deep breaths. Just settle. Just resting the hands on the legs, just closing the eyes and start to connect with the breath. And softening around the belly. And the collarbones. All the way up through the sides of the neck. Just breathing and softening. So just noticing what you notice. So just settle into the body. Deep breaths. Well done. We're going to gently take the hands to the front of the knees and then bring the chin to the chest. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Spread through the toes. So just notice, you know, if there's any sort of gripping there through the feet, just soften that. But, you know, we want to feel as much contact through the feet as possible. Keep drawing the chin in towards the chest and just softening those shoulders away from the ears. Helps to draw the belly in a little here. So we start to lengthen. Find a little space through the spine. This naturally closes off around the throat chakra. So we are breathing through the nose, smooth, deep breaths. Now, with all of our postures today, you know, we can take this on a view of active to passive. So we're not forcing, but just allow the body to release, to open up, to soften. Well done. Bring the head all the way up. Let the eyes reach up. So just letting the eyes lift up, a nice stretch through the front of the throat. Blink the eyes a good few times and just get used to that sensation of stretching all the muscles. So we're stretching through tiny muscles to support the larger muscles. Have a stretch through the jaw if you like. You can move the tongue. You can move the sides of the jaw by sort of smiling, squeezing out any tension. This helps release tension through the neck. Stretching the eyes. Well done. Slowly release the head back to neutral. Take a deep breath in. Breathe in and then exhale. We're going to turn towards me. So just let the hands drift across. So the front hand will just drop around to the seat. You may like to grab a hold of that seat. And the back hand will just rest here. So we've gone from here just round to there. Good job. Nice deep breaths. Lift up through the chest. We start to feel into a little twist here. It's based on Arda Uttanasana. Was a sage. So it's a lovely introduction to a gentle twist through the spine. Keep the legs soft. There's temptation to get a little tense and also to move the legs. If you keep the feet planted around hip width apart, pelvis will be fairly neutral. Lift will be coming up through the spine. Deep breath in. Exhale, come through the center. Let the arms come all the way across to the other side. Lift up and lengthen. So you may notice that on the opposite side of the body, we're starting to get a little rotation around the lower ribs, around the belly, space around the diaphragm. Deep breaths. Well done. Slowly release the hands, come all the way forward. Take the feet a little wider apart. So I'll stay side on for this, but I will change the position of the chair as we go along. Take the feet a little wider and turn the feet outwards to the sides. And then we're going to just gently lean forward. So this is how we sort of ease into that lower back, which is often quite tight around the thoracolumbar region and the lower back of the pelvis. And just rest on those forearms. Look forward and lengthen. Nice deep breaths. Shoulder blades just releasing down the back. Let the wrists hang nice and loose. So again, the tip of the pelvis will determine how much turn there is. So we're not forcing, just notice what we notice. So even if you're up a little higher, okay, and there's just a small movement, you can always have the hands on the knees. Ultimately, if the breath is flowing, then we can ease into it. Nice deep breath. Well done. Let's take the left hand onto the left thigh and then gently press that on so that it extends. We have a little turn again, this time to the right side. So we're stretching away just to create a little bit of space away from the left leg, from the left arm. So ultimately feeling that lovely stretch into the side ribs. And then slowly bending that elbow, come back to rest in the center. You may find a little bit more space there around the pelvis. Avoid sort of collapsing and rounding into the back. Think of a nice long spine as much as possible, even if that means using a little tone in the belly or coming up a little higher, okay? So ultimately feeling that length through the spine so we can breathe into the back ribs. And when you're ready, taking the right hand onto the right thigh and just leaning across. I'm just going to show you that from the side as well. Let the breath leave the body. So there is, a little bit of pressing. I'm not going to say pushing because ultimately, we just need to ease into these muscles as we find them. One side may be slightly tighter than the other. So just use your breath as your guide. Deep breaths through the whole of that right side. And then slowly come all the way up, nice and gentle. Peel the legs so they come back to that first position. I'm going to stay in this direction. You stay as you are. Good job. Now we're going to lift up that right leg. You can take the hands under the back of the thigh. Let the weight of that leg really rest in the palms. And then bring some rotation just to the foot and the ankle. Slowly start to feel that movement up through the leg. And you'll notice, if you're attentive and just staying with the body, staying with the breath, that there is sensation that deepens into the hip and the groin. Even though we're sitting, we're doing this quite mindfully, not the usual sitting, both directions. So clockwise, anti-clockwise. One way always feels slightly less intuitive. Notice if there's any holding of the breath. Well done. Land that foot. Place the hands on the knees. Just pause and settle. So settle down through the pelvis and the sitting bones. You can adjust yourself back to the sort of front end of the chair if that's comfortable. This gives us access to our sitting bones so we can feel through the pelvis up through the center. Soften down through the lower back. So if there's any overarching through the lower back, just softening there. Let the tailbone drop under. Deep breath in. Well done. Let's peel up the left leg. So just start with letting the weight of that leg really drop into the hands. And just settle and then bring some movement. Toes, whole of the foot, the ankle. Going one direction before changing. Well done. So as we release into the foot, this helps release all the way up through the leg, deep into the hip joint. and beyond. Good job. Well done. Planting that foot when you're ready. Come back to hands on the front of the knees. And this time, chin to chest, really sort of curling through the spine. So you can always tuck the tailbone under a little deeper here. So it's a cat-cow on a chair, if you're familiar with that shape. So you can really round into the back and then curl up through the spine, all the way up. Good job. Nice deep breaths. Again, let those eyes reach up. One more. Exhale, curl through the spine. And then slowly come all the way up. Well done. Just bring the hands so that the palms are facing up. Backs the hands rest on the sides. Just settle into a breath. Feel the weight of the body. We're going to interlace our fingers, turn the palms away. Take an extra deep breath in. And then as we exhale, start to lift up from the waist, all the way up. So notice when there's a little resistance, pop a little bend in the elbows, keep that chest lifting, and the palms reaching all the way up towards the sky. Again, soft around the tailbone, around the lower back, softening around the neck. Deep breath in. Exhale, release the fingers. Well done. Palms just facing the floor. Pause here, just let the hands rest out to the side. Good job. Let them come all the way down. Well done. Let the wrists go nice and floppy, just soft around the wrists. And then peek those fingertips up like wingtips. Good job. Deep breaths. Relax the wrists. Tone in the belly, lift up through the chest. Well done. Turn the palms to face the floor, and then we're going to gently turn the head to look to the right. Stretching through the neck, lift all the way up. So you'll be familiar with this as your warrior shape, your warrior two. Lifting up through the chest. Well done. Head to center. Deep breath in. And then to the other side. Anyone that says chair yoga is easy, maybe could do this for a little longer. Nice deep breaths. Well done. Head to the center. Relax the arms. Let them just dangle from their sockets. You can let the palms face forward towards me or in your direction. Resting there. Bring a little rotation. So you're leading outwards with the thumbs. And then let the arms just hang nice and loose. Well done, good job. I'm going to move my chair back. You can stay exactly as you are. So from here, arms just relaxing. We're going to take ourselves up off of our chair. So you can use that for support if you need to. Roll up through the spine as you come up. Keep the feet planted and parallel. Lift all the way up. Just placing the hands on the hips and just feel the connection with the soles of the feet that are nicely, hopefully opened up through our little movements, up through the ankles, knees and hips, hands on the hips. Lift up and lengthen. Keep that lovely sense of length through the spine. Release the hands. We're going to turn to face our chair. And we're going to do a little forward fold. So that same place that we place the hands on the hips there, we're going to use that as our guide. That's where we're going to fold from. We can pop a little bend into the hips, and you can start quite close to the chair. Or you can take a couple of feet away from the chair, your foot length, as it were. We're going to be folding forward. So drawing up through the legs. First of all, really pad down through the toes. Make as much contact through the feet as possible. Pop a little bend in the knees. Come back to that lovely length through the spine. Keep everything softening and drawing down through the legs to the feet and then back up through the legs. You have this sort of feedback of energy coming up through the legs and down. So there is a synergy, a support. As you fold forward over those fingertips, we're going to relax the arms and bring them onto the chair. Okay, so you can take the edges of the chair. Each of us is going to be on a slightly different height chair. So feel it out for yourself. What you're feeling for is a lovely stretch across the back. You can walk the feet a little further back now into Arda Uttanasana. As you extend the arms, you can take the feet a little further back. So ultimately, legs start to extend, spine is long. You can rest the palms flat onto the chair if you like. And then keep padding through the feet as much as possible, keeping them around hip width apart. Soles of the feet just melting into the mat. Take the hands in a couple of different places just to feel what happens in the outer edges of the armpits. Head in line with the spine. So if the temptation is to let the head just sort of dangle, feel that and then lift up and lengthen. It's not that one is bad or good, it's the extension through the spine that we are looking for, and also to sort of strengthen through those neck muscles. If it's too strong on the legs, pop a little bend in the knees, look forward, plant the hands onto the chair top. Nice deep breaths into the ribs, into the back ribs, look forward, and then slowly walk towards the chair. Check the blood pressure here, just look forward, lengthen again. Blink the eyes, good to keep those eyes open if you have low blood pressure. And then peel all the way up. You can place the hands on the body to peel up, chin to chest. Everything is long. Feel that lovely sense of length all the way up through the crown of the head. Good job. Spread down through the toes. We're going to root down through the standing leg, okay, which is going to be our left leg, and bring the right leg up onto the chair. Lift up the arms, nice deep breaths. I realise my arms are off the screen, but they're there. I promise they're still there. And lift and lengthen. Now we're going to come into a little turn here. So find your stability first, okay? It gets more wobbly as we turn. So if you're feeling wobbly at all, relax the arms, root down through that standing leg, and it may be lifting and lengthening through the heel, replanting through the ball of that foot, taking the front foot on the chair a little further across the chair, and then bring the arms back up. Hopefully that should give you a good diagonal shape, yeah? So you've got a good stability. Well done. Arms lift all the way up. And just settle here. We're going to turn the chest to face the bent leg, okay? Good job. Relax the arms. Just let the arms come down. So that left arm is resting on the outside of the right leg. Good job. Deep breaths. That's it. Well done. Good. So we start to get a lovely openness across the chest and deep into this hip. Now we're going to come forward towards this thigh. Okay, you can use your hand for support. And then bend the elbow of that left arm. Plant the palms together, nice and calm. Little tone in the belly. This will facilitate that little twist. We're using the arm against the thigh to give us a little bit of purchase. Well done. And then lift that right elbow up. Good job. Nice deep breaths. Super calm. If there's any sense of unbalance or anything like that, root down through the standing leg, draw up through that leg, tone in the belly. Nice and calm. Well done. Release the arm. So top arm comes down first. Use that for stability on the thigh. Unravel, come all the way back. Step that foot down. Walk the feet back. Come into this almost like a downward dog now. So we take the feet a little further back. This is where we need to check the stability of the chair. Okay, so if we're weight bearing through that chair, check that it's got some sticky pads, or it's against the wall even, or it's on your mat. And stretch all the way through the back. And the knees. You can keep this as playful as you like. I really encourage a sense of play with your practice. Whatever stage you're at, this is all opening the body. It's integration, embodiment, so that we can feel the body fully. Look forward, walk forward. Well done. Just settle there. You can come all the way up. This is Tadasana, by the way, our mountain pose, which you might be familiar with. Resting there, just pausing. Let the body settle. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift up that left leg. Okay, it's the same thing. Really root down with that right leg. And if you find even lifting that leg is quite tricky, use some support, use the chair, lift the leg. Take this as your prop, as much as possible. Use the props, use the surfaces. They're all good. They point us towards what's possible in the body over time. So remembering rooting down with a standing leg, take that foot a little further across the base of the chair. So hips and pelvis face forward. You can rest the hand there. And just settle. And then let the arms release. You can let them swing a little, loosen into those arm joints. Shifting the weight diagonally. So you've got a nice strong base, and we'll breathe the arms all the way up. Soften the shoulders around the neck joint, tone in the belly. And then exhale, we're going to turn slightly to the left side. In other words, bringing the chest to face towards the thigh. And then exhale, bringing the arms, just the arms at this stage, down. So we've got the left wrist of the right arm. Sorry, the the right wrist against the left leg. And then reach back with the left arm. Well done. Deep breaths. And we're going to come forward here. So as you draw the belly in, create a little bit of space. Elbow bends, palm to palm. So I'll stay this way, facing away, just so you can get a sense of the back of the body. Palms facing each other, resting on each other. Left elbow comes all the way up. Deep breaths. Well done. Taking an extra deep breath as you release the arms. And slowly release that leg. Well done. Good job. Rest all the way back. Have a little bend through the knees and ankles, a few clicks and pops here. And then just have a little walk through the legs. You can start with the soles of the feet planted, just walking through the legs. And then you can lift each heel, getting into the arches of the feet. As we warm up through the ankles, knees and hips, we start to loosen off across the whole of the back of the body, getting into the hips and the pelvis, making our mobility a lot easier. Well done. Rest there. Good job. And we're going to turn the chair away around now. So hopefully you haven't got a really heavy chair. And then come to rest. You can have the hands on the back of the chair for this one. Nice deep breaths. And step back with the left foot. So depending how big a stride you've gone for, you can take that heel a little further across the mat, turning the back toes in, front foot forward. You can keep this fairly narrow actually, okay? So you don't feel, oh, I've got to step really far back, so that the back heel goes down comfortably. And we're using our chair. I'm going to move mine forward a little bit more, so there's a little, as much, space as I've got to play with. And slowly start to bring up the heel so that the foot becomes parallel, okay? So that the feet end up in this position rather than this, yeah? So you lift up the heel and start to extend so the feet become parallel. Good job. So the chair obviously is just giving us a little bit of support. I'm going to walk a little further back. You can take the arms around the sides of the chair. Again, if you've got a really high chair, you will need to go around the sides of that chair. Keep walking that foot a little further back, bringing the heel a little further in. You can stay at this position, ultimately, so you feel that lovely big stretch up into that leg. Fingers alive, resting the heels of the hands on the chair. It may lift up, and that's okay. You know, the chair has lots of benefits. As long as it's not dangerous, it's not going to slide away. You can let the body just sort of softly press into the chair. If the chair legs lift up, that's absolutely fine. If you're worried about that, or it's a really heavy chair, take the hands to the side. Chest lifts, nice deep breaths. You stay up high, remember. So hopefully you're feeling that through the front leg, tone in the belly. So as much as possible, we're drawing in and lengthening, lifting and lengthening all the way up, lifting and lengthening through the anterior spine. Deep breaths. Well done. Bend through that front leg. Gently pick up the back leg, point the toes, and just elevate that leg for a moment before coming all the way in. Pause there. You can let the chair go, rest in the center. As the feet land, just notice the difference between both sides of the body. Chest open and relax. Jaw soft. Well done. We're going to step back this time with the right leg. So again, use your chair for stability. And popping the heel up as many times. Same with the front toes. So slowly opening up through the inner groins, yeah, and the inner thighs. And just being playful. If you notice the hands are getting tired, then you're probably gripping a little bit more than you need. So any movement to get into the tissue, to start to open up through the backs of the legs, then take those movements so you can lift the foot, you can replant the foot, lift the toes of the front foot. Keep a little bend in the knees, okay? So trust your own movement, your own ability at this stage. It's just a stage, it's all a stage. And then as you plant through the soles of the feet, start to lengthen. Remember, we're drawing in the belly, so we start to lift up from the very depths of the pelvic floor through the belly. This gives us stability for the lower back, so the back's not doing all the work. And then lengthen. Yeah, remember, you can let the chair come forward. Shift the weight from the front leg into the back leg and distribute that weight across the 2 feet. Look forward and lengthen. Nice deep breaths. Head as an extension of the spine. Well done. You've got your chair slightly raised, just drop it to the floor. Shift the weight forward, lift the back leg. Yeah, just a fraction, even if it's just an inch off the floor. We get used to having this sort of weight bearing. This helps with our balance. Tone in the belly and then release. Walk towards the chair. Rest the hands. Lift up and lengthen. Nice deep breaths. Well done. Good job. So we're going to turn the chair back this time. Well, I'm going to have it sideways. I'm going to sit sideways on. Actually, if I do it that way with the back, the chair towards you. So you can sit onto the side of the chair. Good job. And then again, shift the weight. Don't worry if you've got, you know, some part of the buttocks are on, part are off. It's all fine. As long as you feel stable. You can always add a block or a cushion across the base, but for what we're about to do, this is absolutely fine. Feeling into the pelvis. Check the feet are roughly hip width apart. So as much as we started, we're going to lift up and lengthen and turn towards the back of the chair. So this time we're going to utilize the back of the chair. Good job. Hopefully a little bit more mobility through the spine. Well done. So the hands can walk around the chair. Depends what you've got. Yeah, I've got a rounded top. If yours is square, you can take your hand across the top and then down. Don't force it. Keep nice and central to the spine. Don't worry so much about the arms. Keep the chest open and relaxed. Well done. Take an extra deep breath in. And then release the hands. Come back to center. Rest the palms just on the thighs. Well done. Good job. Just settle there. So you've got a couple of choices. Either you can move your chair, or even easier, if you're on slidey leggings, just spin around and then bring yourself to the edge of the chair. All right. So we'll start with that first position, just feeling into the base. Soles of the feet planted around hip width apart. And again, if your feet are really struggling, if you feel that the height of the chair isn't quite right, you can always place some blocks under the feet or shift the weight a little further forward. So ultimately, you've got a kind of 90-degree angle on the legs. Lift up and lengthen. Deep breath in. Let the arms drift up, and then exhale. Turn to the other side. Well done. So you're still reaching for the back of the chair. Soften the shoulders. So the temptation is sometimes, if the shoulders come up, just breathe a little softness. If the back arm feels a bit sticky in the shoulder joint, let that arm completely relax. Focus on that little turn in the belly. And then over time, just let the back arm sort of creep back up where it's comfortable. So rather than us having an idea of where we want that hand to go, let the arm, let the shoulder joint sort of determine the position of that. Same with the front arm. There's less agitation on the front arm, but if there is any issue, let that arm go. Breathe it across. Tone in the belly, lift up. So the head is an extension of the spine. You may want to extend to look behind you towards that shoulder. Nice deep breaths. So just finding that stillness, reconnecting with that stillness. That is ever present. Breathe. And when you're ready, you're going to slowly release. Let the hands softly release their grip. Hands come all the way forward. Rest them on the thighs. Settle. Nice deep breath. Soften any tension around the tailbone. Well done. Come all the way up. Nice and slowly. Take your chair to the end of your mat. Place the hands on the seat. Walk the feet a little further back. Think of this as your downward dog. It's super helpful for just feeling into the arms, the legs, that openness through the body. So as you walk the hips and pelvis back, you slowly start to bring an extension up through the legs, the backs of the legs, or keep a little bend in the knees. Okay, so you'll notice, what's happening through the spine is going to determine whether it will be beneficial to release the knees, to straighten through the spine. Take a grip of the sides of the chair so there's some stability. And then we're just going to simply let the right hand drop off the seat and come around to the, the left hand comes off the seat and comes around the right calf muscle. And then gently look under your own armpit. Deep breaths. Keep drawing the hips and the pelvis further back, rooting down through the feet. Stretching through the armpit, the tissue around the chest, the pectoralis. Slowly release. Well done. Take the hand back onto the seat. You can have a little pause here by bending through the knees, look forward, adjust the feet as much as you need, and then when you're ready, we're going to release that right hand over to the left calf. So the hand wraps around, and then you gently let the head look underneath your own armpit. And keep drawing up through the legs. Nice deep breaths. Excellent. Take an extra deep breath in as you release. Bend the knees. We're going to come down onto the floor. So I've got my blanket here. Feel free to use a blanket under the knees if you need to. I'm just going to show you. It could be folded. It can be as thick as you need. So there's a little bit of padding there. All right. So keep the toes tucked under. Lengthen up through the spine. So just simply by tucking under the toes, we're stretching through the plantar fascia, all the tiny muscles in the feet. This is good for stability, strength. Well done. Now, resting here, we're going to come to rest the elbows, forearms onto the chair, onto the seat. And then you can gently relax the feet. Okay, so take the knees a little wider. And slowly start to bring the buttocks down towards the heels. Lift up the hands. You can clasp the hands, resting the elbows on the edge of the chair. And again, if there's any pain here, if you need a little bit of extra padding, you can roll a blanket over the lip of the chair. Palms together and then soften. Okay, so we're softening down hips and pelvis between the feet. Palms together, and they can slowly start to come up and over the head. So if you're at any stage in this posture and it's too much or there's suffering, there's just pain or whatever, I want you to come back up, take it nice and steady. Any pain in the ankles, you can have further padding and some soft padding there. You can keep the toes tucked under if that's better. You can also leave the arms extended, use the back of the chair. Lots of different variations, ways to, adapt your practice to suit you exactly as you are. Softening those shoulder blades. Gently take the head to look up. And then slowly release the palms. Come back onto the heels just momentarily. Again, this is brilliant practice for the feet and ankles, but it's not super comfy for everyone, so we won't stay there too long. We're going to roll off of that. Take the blanket up onto the chair. If it's hard, if there's padding on your chair, then you may not need this, but just a folded blanket. So again, we've got a few options here. We're going to bring the hips and pelvis close towards the floor and then let the calf muscles come to rest. Shins soften, tops of the feet soften. And then as you land, you can sort of start to shimmy your weight closer towards the chair. So ultimately your hips and pelvis land. Feet can rest either against the back of the chair or out to the side. Just feel what's comfortable for you. If you have really long legs, you may want to change the chair so that the side becomes the back, if that makes sense. So then you've got space. Rest the hands on the belly. Nice deep breaths. Head is down. Tuck the chin a little deeper. And just rest there. Deep breaths. Eyes gently closed. Breathe the arms out to the side. Just allow the body to completely relax. So you are completely welcome to stay in this posture for as long as you have. I'm just going to talk you through how to come out. If you wish to join me, you're very welcome, or you can stay there for as long as you need. To come out, you're just bringing the feet to the edge of the chair. Just pause there and then gently roll all the way over to the side and gently press all the way up to come up. So if you have time, you may want to lay flat in Shavasana and just take your chair away, or you can stay with your feet raised on the chair. I'll leave it there for today and say namaste. Thank you so much for joining me and hope to see you next time. I'll just stop the video.